LoreWarrior Aerotech RGU-133E Rogue. Overview. The Rogue medium aerospace fighter never lived up to its name. The fighter carried a reputation for sluggishness at the controls, and though its supporters called the sluggishness nothing more than determination, even they wouldn't call it nimble. When coupled with its light ammunition load and lack of serious support weaponry, very few are mourning the slow disappearance of this long-serving airframe. Capabilities. At 40 tons, the Rogue is a medium-weight aerospace fighter designed for extra-atmospheric operations. A pair of Holly 8 LRM systems provide a respectable bombardment capability, making the Rogue a dangerous adversary. The designers provided the fighter with respectable armour that brought pilot after pilot home after particularly brutal engagements time and again. Although its performance is only average for a fighter of its mass, the Rogue is a speedy craft with enough fuel to expend its ammunition and return to base. The two Starflash medium lasers and reliable weapons lack the power to threaten any other fighter though. Deployment. During the original League, Rogues commonly deployed as a support or bombardment fighter. The range of its missile batteries provided aerospace commanders with an ace in the hole, giving them the ability to strike at engaged enemies from a good distance. Since the destruction of the Iona shipyards in 2797, however, each lost Rogue is irreplaceable. The number of active Rogues has steadily dwindled until only a handful is left, sitting in the arsenals of the Comguards and, later on, the Word of Blake. Studies suggest the clans may also possess some in their older Brian cations, but they haven't chosen to deploy them in the Inner Sphere as yet. Variants. Two variants became common during the Rogue's initial deployments, the F model, which carried SRMs in place of the LRMs, and the L model, which replaced the missiles with their ammunition and a pair of large lasers and additional heat sinks. The destruction of the Iona shipyards sealed the fate of the Rogue, however. Since that time, two notable variants have been recorded. The first, deployed during the Second Succession War by the Lyran Commonwealth, replaced the missiles and their ammunition with a pair of PPCs and two more heat sinks. This, though, performed poorly, often losing control after firing both PPCs. The other Rogue variant flies with the Comguard. Roughly 10% of the existing Rogues are upgraded to the venerable L model airframe. Comguard engineers have replaced the heatsinks with double-strength versions, which saves enough mass to upgrade both the large medium lasers to pulse models. This version is popular as a dogfighter. Many of the Comguard's aces made their names piloting these very ships. Notable pilots. Lieutenant Brianna Wolfgram. During the Second Succession War, Lieutenant Wolfgram and her PPC-armed Rogue gained great but short-lived fame on the Free World League border. During an engagement with elements of the Marik militia, Wolfgram's flight was ordered to delay a squadron of attacking Lightning medium fighters. Despite the odds, Lieutenant Wolfgram and her wingman attacked. Their first run through the squadron's formation broke them apart. Wolfgram then began to fire her PPCs off-cycle, one weapon at a time, while the other cooled. Between herself and her wingman, they managed to knock out a pair of Lightnings before the attacking fighters regrouped. Very quickly, the lieutenant was forced to fire her PPCs in tandem, overheating her aging fighter. Equipment began to malfunction as she engaged the enemy squadron commander, and during a head-to-head pass, both pilots unleashed the full complement of their weapon systems. Wolfgram's PPC struck the Marik pilot's cockpit, killing him instantly. Unfortunately for her, the waste heat generated by the barrage knocked out her controls, and the two craft collided, destroying both of them. Adept Valerie Heron. A pilot in the Comguard's 2nd Division, Valerie Heron gained great fame during the Blakist invasion of Epsilon Indy at the start of the Jihad. Piloting her upgraded Rogue LX in the defense of the orbital insertion lanes, Adept Heron engaged repeated waves of Blakist fighters. She made ace in her first engagement using her Rogue's pulse lasers to ravage a level 2 of Cheetah fighters. The surviving Blakist and Acolyte reported that the 2nd Division had brought a ghost back with them from the Huntress days. When the next wave of Blakist fighters arrived, 2 level 2s of upgraded Stingrays, Adept Heron claimed 3 more kills before succumbing to massed PPC fire. Of the Presenter Regis Grandi's final act, it was to request Comstar's highest honours for Valerie Heron. The Rogue. Basically, just you know what? I love these. I love the write-ups like these. Vehicles and mechs like these in BattleTech are what make the universe for me a lot of the time, because I think there's a perception among a lot of players of some of the PC games and stuff, especially in MWO, that if a mech isn't the biggest, the bestest, and the greatest, why is it even there? Well, it's like a lot of real technology, a lot of military vehicles made at the time. Some of them made on the cheap, some of them are made due to extenuating circumstances, and some of them made just because the army just didn't really give a shit. And it's stuff like this, like the Rogue, that really helped to flesh out the universe more. This lumbering design that clearly wasn't liked by as many pilots. It's got a bit of a bad rep. It doesn't have a lot of ammo. It's, it needs upgrades, and even when it has the upgrades just aren't very good. Outside of a Comstar refit, that's the only time it actually got anywhere. And that's the cool thing about it. It's this fighter that it's not like the darling of the air wing, it's just this sort of kind of a piece of crap for most pilots, which is great. I love that. It's the same. It's why certain mechs exist that a lot of people look at. People will take the piss out of things like Whitworths, for instance, but that's fantastic. You want a mech like the Whitworth. It's supposed to be this slightly maligned machine that some pilots are sat there going, "Oh Christ, a Whitworth? All right, fine." That's what's cool about it. If everything in BattleTech was really good and really amazing, we'd have far less vehicles and far less mechs to deal with, because why would you need to write more of them? Every mech you've made, and every vehicle you've made, and every fighter you've made are the best. So who gives a shit, right? That's what's cool about it. That's what I really like. And the Rogue is one of those. So the other details is that it's a Schiphol 10R frame with GM200 power plant, Starglow ferro aluminium armor with 2 Starflash 1A medium lasers and 2 Holly 8 LRM-15 systems, manufactured on Iona Light shipyards. Its primary factory was on Capella, but that was destroyed in the late 2700s. Its communication system is a Randa 300, and its targeting and tracking is a Syncom Master. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the write-up for what the other variants sort of held on them, or what their particular stats were, but the base model had a thrust of 7, a max thrust of 11, so that's basically the flanking speed. Aerospace works a bit differently. Nose of 30 armor, both the wings have 27, and the aft has 15. So it's actually, I think, slightly less armored in some spaces than, the nose is 61 on, say, the Zero, and the nose on this is 30. The wings are 27, with the wings on the Zero are 28, and the aft is 43, and this is 15. So it's actually got less armor than the 35-ton fighter that came before it in the TRO. Obviously, the upside of this is that it's got way more firepower, so that's the trade-off. But it's interesting. It's cool. I actually quite like the look of the fighter as well. It's pretty sweet. So yeah, it's groovy stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. Little rant aside there about just crappy stuff, or stuff with bad reps aside. Thanks for listening. I hope you have a good week, and I'll catch you next time. All right, see you all. Bye.